ready for bed.
Mom, come on.
I don't like it when you boys watch stuff like that before bed, okay?
It's not real, Mom. It's okay if it's not real.
Yeah, but it'll still give you nightmares.
I'm Jaren.
I'm Nohea.
And we're doing our review on
Sinister 2.
There are references to Bagul across all cultures. Some believed that he lived in another realm. And others believed that it fed off of the corruption of innocence.
All right, what do we think about the movie?
It was okay.
It was okay. It felt less grim than the first one, huh?
Yeah, it was a little bright.
Yeah.
A little bit light on the humor.
I did feel that. I think it's only because I guess Bagul wasn't really the big subject in the...
I think there was too much Google, actually.
There was too much.
It lacks a lot of the subtlety of the first movie.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, speaking of too much Bagul, I fucking hated those kids. They were so irritating.
I didn't mind the kids as much as I thought I would hate them, because from the trailer it looked like there was going to be just really, really bad, but I thought they handled it pretty well. I kind of like the way they approached it in this one. It's kind of like the more logical approach to the sequel, if they had to make a sequel. I don't really think the sequel is really necessary.
Yeah, it was the sequel that nobody asked for.
Yeah, but we got it instead. But if they had to do a sequel, I think they did it right. But having said that, it was really bad acted.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah, it's...
That kid had the cheesiest freaking lines. I just wanted him to stop talking.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the ending with all the things floating around.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that.
I was like, when the Winchester brothers coming in?
Yeah.
The tapes, they were lame.
No, yeah, they were boring.
So lame. The best one was the one that they were saving.
The ending one?
The one with the rats in the church.
So?
Yeah, okay, well, we never got to see that dental one. That made me a little bit mad because I was like,
I don't know. The dental one looked bad.
The dental one looked bad.
It looked too, I don't know, like a saw trap.
Well, I mean,
that's kind of how all these tapes in this one felt like. They felt like, you know, saw traps.
Saw traps.
They didn't really feel like, they didn't feel as homemade as the original movie.
I know, but then, oh my god, the first video with the crocodiles, I was like, who the fuck are you making your sacrifice to?
My favorite one, actually, was the Christmas one.
The Christmas one?
I like the Christmas one. I thought that was really creepy. I think that was the only one that made me feel really creeped out.
Which one was a Christmas one?
It's the one where she buries them out in the snow until they freeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
The eye moving, though, that was kind of a weird
The
touch.
eye moving was weird.
That was silly.
That kind of ruined it.
Yeah,
but
I was like...
I thought that particular one, and you know, like, when you were a kid, didn't you ever have like your family videotape you opening presents?
Yeah.
So that one kind of just felt a little bit more at home, like it could happen.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why I liked that one. I thought that one was actually kind of like legit. But you know, that one thing I was thinking about, you know, towards the end when he's filming his own family.
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do, like, the golf trip? The golf trip has nothing to do with them burning. Right?
No.
Yeah, so that's like a flaw right there.
No relevance, yeah.
No relevance. And they all had, like, some relevance to them.
Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, we were doing this, and then becomes that.
Yeah.
Like,
so, yeah, like, his movie that he was making was really dumb, because it's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go film my family having a picnic and you know, and golfing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna burn them.
Yeah. So how do you even name that tape? Because all of them had relevance.
They did.
I mean, there was fishing trip. Boom.
The fishing
at
trip.
a swamp.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You know, whatever. Then
this is almost this is just as bad as the ending of the first movie, the house painting. The house painting makes no sense.
Makes no sense. You would have to make another movie.
It was lame.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's like a lot of flaws in both movies.
Both movies.
But I think the first movie is a lot better in that it holds the suspense. It kind of like saves the scares. It's not so much about jump scares in the first movie, and this one is kind of like all about jump scares.
The jump scares were lame.
They were lame.
They were everything from the trailer, and it was
And that's
Bagul
pretty
showing
much
his fucking face.
all it was, and that's kind of what's sad about it is like it has the potential to be something more crafty, more suspenseful, but it doesn't. And instead, it makes it more jumpy because that's kind of what its target audience is.
By ritual or sacrifice. There's always three things in common. There's a murdered family, a house, and some form of offering. Image, literature, music.
Yeah, I found the dad more menacing than Bagul himself. I actually jumped. I jumped when he slapped the kid and put mashed potatoes in his face.
I don't know. I was just thinking about Boyhood.
Boyhood.
That's what came to mind. Like, this is Boyhood, the horror movie.
Oh, now I know what he's gonna name. He's gonna label the tape "How to Kill Your Stepfather."
No. I think they should have opened it up with the actual tape of Ethan Hawke's family.
Yeah,
That would have been a better opener than showing the film that wasn't.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, is this the ending that they're showing us already? I'm like,
I know. Yeah, that's kind of. It kind of ruins the suspense of that moment.
And then
because you kind of already expect what's gonna happen.
Yeah, especially when they kind of they lead all the way up to that.
Yeah.
Even the professor who's played by Vincent, I can't pronounce his last name, but the guy from Jurassic World.
Jurassic World?
He was the villain. He was the semi-villain.
Oh,
in
that
Jurassic
guy.
World.
Yeah.
So he was the professor in the first one.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, by the way, I got some prodigy that's like holding all my stuff, and it's like, okay,
Here, hold my shit.
hold my shit. So I mean, I found that whole scene where they were like there was like just two nerds in the room, and then they're like getting scared and getting drunk over this like tape thing. Because there was no, I guess, like subtitles to like warm up to that Norwegian translation thing. You're like, okay, why is he frightened all of a sudden over some screams and some ham radio?
He's a weak main character.
But he was really goofy.
I mean, he's goofy.
He's goofy. I thought it was nice.
He's likable.
He's
likable. It's just he's a very poor main character.
Poor main character. Yeah. But, I mean, at least it was nice to kind of see, because remember we had that whole question about, in the first one, how we just kind of wish that he was the more redeemable character to help out Ethan Hawke and his family, and it didn't come through. And so this is kind of our tiny
It makes
little
sense
answer.
for him to be where he is for the sequel.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel that Sinister 2 does do a lot of things right for a sequel, but at the end of the day, it's not as good.
There's a problem. I found another house. Well, then burn it down. It's not that simple. There's already a family that's living in there.
You don't understand. You don't know what's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
You know, every single time they were talking in reference to making the movie, and it was like never gonna happen because that kid kept fucking up, especially like towards the end. I felt that was kind of a meta reference to making Sinister 2 itself. I don't know.
How do you see?
Huh?
How do you say?
It's like, oh, this is, you know, like the one kid was like, oh, you know, your movie's never getting made. You know, it's like, stop making the movies. I don't want to see another movie.
I read a review before I read a review before I watched the movie, and they said that was the most terrible and funniest line of the entire movie. Your movie's not getting made, kid. I'm a little confused with that ending, though. I mean, Bagul still got the kid. He didn't make the offering.
Yeah. But you know their excuse, the whole thing about moving, and then they changed the whole thing where it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be about them moving. It can be some, you know, thematic,
that does not make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, yeah, because it doesn't make any sense.
It defeats the purpose of what one had.
No,
and then
I
it's
mean,
like, it's an excuse for Bagul to pop his fucking face out again.
It doesn't make sense just because how else is the thing supposed to move around?
Yeah, exactly. I like that Scott Derrickson wrote it. I mean, it had a few nits and knacks that was kind of nice. I felt like it was a lot of studio.
I really
changes
wish
and
that the
movement.
music was a little bit more unsettling, because I felt that that was the one really redeeming quality of the first movie. I thought that the music was really chilling and it kind of like put you in that unease, that, you know, that dreaded feeling of watching those movies, and it wasn't there in this one. They even reused some of the tracks from the first one, because I think they probably figured, oh shit,
This is crap.
the music isn't as good as the first one. Quick, we need to go put in the music from the first movie.
Which has worked really well with the chase scene. I
It
like that
did.
they had a chase scene. Oh, speaking of the music and dread, I mean, I noticed that. I don't know. Did you find it weird that that stupid record player was attached to the thing? I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, I was like, the whole point about that music was setting it for the audience itself, not for the viewer, which was Ethan Hawke in the first one. And then, like, for this one, it's like, let's create the mood for the kid.
Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine if you're watching the first one and Ethan Hawke's watching the films and there's like the kids behind him setting up the music players, like, oh shit, he's watching that one.
I would not want to see that at all.
That was so funny.
Kill anyone, we'll kill you and your whole family. And watch the film over and over and over.
Well, that was creepy.
That was creepy.
Final thoughts?
Like you said, it was kind of a, you know, it's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So
It's a so bad it's good
yeah,
ish.
something you'd probably want to catch on
I mean,
Netflix.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again just to have like a decent laugh every
Wouldn't
now and
spend
then.
any money on it. No,
Maybe $5.
maybe $5.
That's how I got this first Sinister.
Yeah, I guess on a grading scale, I'd give it a D plus.
I'd probably say C.
All right, guys, I'm Jaren.
I'm Nohea, and this is
Our review on Sinister 2.
Night, night, Daddy. My show's about to start.
okay, folks. I got the camera now. Jaren's arms got tired because he didn't want to do that.
Hey,
That's a spoiler. That's a big spoiler.
I'm not putting anything on the record that's not true.
Hold on, folks. There he is.
It's right there. The thing!
No!
Do the thing!
No!
Why?
Person, fire, death.